Hi, I'm Craig, and I'm gonna douse your rods.
Hi, I'm Kylee, and from a word to a word, I was led to a word. It will make sense later.
Hi, I'm Shandi, and you won't be getting my lucky charms. And this is Seance with my siblings. Divination, Divination, round 2. Fight! Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Ruin everything.
No, it's good.
Gotta pay those ghost actors,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm going to talk about charm casting. I am bringing to your ear holes today a little history and insight into charm casting. Yes.
Excite.
The type of charm casting I am talking about is really what it sounds like. You use little charms that represent different things to gain insight into your life. There are many types of casting, and this form of divination is one of the oldest. People use many different objects in casting forms of divination. However, it is not exactly known with any sort of solid evidence exactly when and by what people's charm casting comes from, like the specific form of casting.
Okay.
Other forms have a lot more history, and you can pinpoint more accurately, like who used it first, where it comes from.
Right.
Yeah. But not this. And I checked multiple sources, and they're all just kind of like shrug, scratch his head. Just do it. So, before I started researching this form of casting, I had never heard of charm casting before.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just Googled different types of divination.
Okay.
And so I was just looking, and then I was like, wait, charms? Little collectibles?
Little trinkets?
The
Yes.
trinkets? Yes.
Trinkets to put in my trinket box.
That is exactly what my brain did. So, being the silly divination-obsessed human that I am, the first thing I did after watching a video on YouTube about how to charm cast, I went on over to Etsy, where I found a nice little witchy shop and bought my very own charm casting set to get started on learning a new form of divination.
Nice.
Yes.
And then the YouTuber, I say it, yay, go me. According to Emerald Lotus Mystic on YouTube, they say charm casting is a fairly modern type of divination, and it doesn't really have many of the rules that other methods have. You can find any little charms or tiny knickknacks you have around your home. Emerald Lotus says use any charms you feel drawn to. My little magpie heart soared with joy at the thought of growing my collection of charms. Anything to do with searching and collecting little objects is my thing. When I was doing a lot of sand tray therapy with clients, I was completely obsessed with scouring thrift stores for figures to use in the sand for people to build their worlds and tell their stories. So this reminds me of that, and I am sensing the beginning of a new collecting problem. Yeah. Luckily, these are very small and easy to store, unlike my hundreds of dolls whose boxes take up a stupid amount of space. I have a problem. Clearly.
Is it a problem?
No.
Is it hurting anyone?
No.
There you go.
It's not hurting anyone. It's not taking over parts of my house that other people need to live in. And I still can pay my bills, so...
Hell yeah.
Anyway, I really love the idea that you can interpret your charms in the way that applies to you. So this type of divination is very intuitive and helps build that skill of listening to the inner knowledge that the universe is sending your way, if only we would center our energy and listen. I wonder if this is kind of why this method works, because it helps us quiet our minds, focus on intentions, and listen to our own inner voice. It seems very easy to start. You can use a mat that has different areas on it, like self, focus, family, health, romance, finances, whatever. Some ideas of what charms you might want in your collection are the seasons, the elements, a pentacle or pentagram, little charms of people or animals. Emerald Lotus even had a little locket with a picture of her mom.
Cute.
Yeah. I'm curious about using this method in tandem with like tarot cards or oracle cards
Okay.
to clarify if you get stuck on what a charm is trying to tell you. And in my further research, like this was just my little wonderings as I was typing this. And then like in further videos, I saw that some people do that. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen people do that on like
Yeah.
TikTok.
So I have my little charms I bought on the
Cute.
internet if you guys want to look.
They are so cute.
And I did a little cast and I just asked the question, what do I need to focus on the rest of this month? And so, I'm going to need this because that charm is covering the word.
row.
In the don't dwell is a little pair of like pliers. And I'm like, well, it's a tool. And I'm still thinking about what that means to me. I'm not really sure. Don't dwell. There's a tool. And then in the social, there's a wooden bead and a little like 4-leaf clover charm. And so the wooden bead, I just keep thinking apple, like golden apple. I don't know why. It's just what I think.
What your intuition is telling you.
And then the good luck. So it's like in social settings or social aspects of November, it'll be like fruitful and lucky.
Okay.
Yeah. And in the hidden part is starfish. And I have just been missing the ocean like crazy lately. And I have a lot of longing to be near the ocean on the beach. And that has been like really hard to be stuck in Utah in the winter when all I want to do is frolic in the sand.
Yes.
Yes. I know, and it's getting so cold.
It is. And I know that part of me is just going to get like louder and louder this month. Like hidden desires, you know?
Yeah.
And that going to the beach right now is not an option.
No.
Stupid money.
Stupid
money.
money.
Stupid work. Stupid money.
Literally.
Literally.
So anyway, what do you guys think about charm casting?
I think it's really
I think
cool.
it's cool. I like it.
I do like it.
I think the more I use it, the more I'm excited. I'm excited to keep playing with this new type of divination and keep getting little trinkets, obviously.
I like that it's very like intuitive based.
Yes.
Like you have to find your own kind of.
Yeah, there's no book telling you this means this and this could represent this.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to go with your own gut, which I like. Especially if you're working like I am on building your intuition and trusting your intuition.
Yes. I like that you can pick like things that are personal to you.
Yeah, I
too.
like that part too.
And you can assign your own meanings to the objects.
Yes.
It doesn't, like, everyone's will be different and there's no right or wrong. So it's just a very freeing and very intuitive.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun to learn about. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And tell us at our Gmail or whatever about
Seance with my siblings at gmail.com.
if you guys have tried this, let us know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start with the discovery of runes.
Ooh, we're talking about runes.
We're talking about
Runes.
runes. In Norse mythology, the great tree, Yggdrasil, is an immense and central sacred tree that grows at the center of the Norse cosmos. Yggdrasil's upper branches cradle Asgard, home of the Aesir, gods and goddesses, among whom is the Allfather, Odin. But he wasn't the Allfather yet. Yggdrasil grows out of the well of Urd, a pool whose depths house many of the most powerful beings in the cosmos. 3 wise women, known as the Norns, are among these powerful beings. These 3 created the fate of all beings. One of the techniques they use to do this is carving runes into the trunk of Yggdrasil. The symbols then carry these intentions throughout the tree, affecting everything in the 9 worlds.
Oh, I just got full body chills.
Yes.
I love it.
Odin had an unquenchable thirst for knowledge, and as he watched from his seat in Asgard, he envied the wisdom and power of the Norns, and so he set his mind to uncover the knowledge of the runes. Because the runes made their home in the Well of Erd with the Norns, they were not willing and eager to reveal themselves or their secrets to just anyone. They would only reveal themselves to those who could prove themselves worthy of such fearful insights and abilities. Odin set his mind to proving himself worthy, and he hung himself from a branch of Yggdrasil, pierced himself with a spear, and peered into the depths of Erd. He stared downward. So he was serious
metal.
about this.
Yeah.
He wanted this knowledge and this power. And this is the reason he also has just one eye, is because he pierced his eye with the spear. So he stared downward and downward, calling out to the runes with all of his will. He forbade any of the other Aesir to grant him even the slightest aid. He accepted no sip of water or soothing gesture. He stared, deeper and deeper, ever calling out to those runes. He survived in this state, walking the line between life and death for 9 days and nights. At the end of the 9th night, he at last perceived shapes in the depths of Erd. The runes had heard his call. They accepted his sacrifice and revealed themselves to him. They gave him the knowledge of not only their forms, but also the secrets that lie within them. Odin fixed this knowledge into his memory and ended his sacrifice with a cry of triumph and delight. After having had the runes reveal their mysteries, Odin recounted, "Then I was fertilized and became wise. I truly grew and thrived. From a word to a word, I was led to a word. From a work to a work, I was led to a work." And this is basically like, now he has this knowledge and power to create words and to write things, and so he can make his own story.
Ooh.
Like,
The knowledge of how to wield the runes set Odin on the path to become one of the mightiest and most accomplished beings in the cosmos, the Allfather. With the knowledge of the runes, he learned chants that allowed him to heal emotional and bodily wounds. He could bind his enemies and render their weapons useless. He could free himself from constraints, put out fires, and expose and banish practitioners of malevolent magic. To protect his friends in battle, to wake the dead, and to perform many other feats that he could not have done without these runes. So the runes as an alphabet. There are 3 versions of the runic alphabet that exist today. The Elder Futhark, the oldest of the 3 and the original. It contains 24 characters and was used from 100 to 800 CE. The Younger Futhark, which contains 16 characters, used from 800 to 1200 CE and into the Viking Age. And then the Anglo-Saxon Futhark, which contains 33 characters and was mostly used in England. With Christianization, people began mixing runic symbols with symbols of Christianity. But because the church banned the use of runes, in the
I roll
I
there.
did, in parentheses, I put eye roll. In the medieval period, the use died down and remained dormant for a period until its revival. The runes as tools of divination. Because the runes hold so much knowledge and power, they have become a popular tool for divination. Rune reading, or rune casting, is the use of runes to answer questions about the past, present, and future. Runes can also help you get clarification or advice on how to answer a question and address an issue or problem. They can also be used to look inward and divine your true self. Runes do not give exact answers, like some forms of divination, and they don't offer advice or whether you should dump your cheating boyfriend or quit your job that you hate so much. Rather, they offer suggestions about different variables and possible outcomes and encourage you to look inward, as Odin looks so deeply into the Well of Erd and discover the answers within. Runes will give hints that will make you use critical thinking skills and basic intuition. To cast runes, first thing you will need are some runes. Runes are traditionally made of natural objects, such as stone, wood, or animal bone, but they can be made of many other things. I have 3 sets of runes that are all different. One is of obsidian stone, one is preserved snakeskin, and one is a deck of cards. But you don't have to go out and buy a fancy set of runes to have runes. You can paint them on rocks that you find in your yard, or you can write the runes on bits of paper that you cut out. Or if you're really what's the word? If you're really invested, you can memorize the runes and then meditate, as Odin did, and ask for runes to surface in your mind to answer your questions. And here are a few ways to cast the runes. Tossing. To toss the runes, you simply dump the runes from a bag or your hands, or literally lightly toss them onto a cloth, usually a white one, to form a magical boundary for the casting, though some people prefer to cast the runes directly onto the ground. The runes that land upright, face up, are your answer. Before tossing, place your hand in the bag and move the runes around thoroughly or shake them around in your hands. There is no one specific or right way to cast runes, but there are a few layouts that can be used. So layout 1, the single rune. Ask your question, shuffle or stir the runes, then pull the rune that feels right, or the first rune that your fingers touch when you reach back into the bag, bowl, your palm, etc. This layout is typically used to divine meaning in the present situation, the state of the soul, or decisions depending on the wording of the question. My stomach is
just
growling so loud.
It's definitely almost
it's
lunchtime.
lunchtime. Layout 2, the 3 Norns layout. This layout is typically used to determine the development of a matter or situation. Example, how does the future look for my business, love life, art, etc.? Ask your question and shuffle the runes, then draw 3, laying them next to each other. The first rune you draw will show the past, Erd, and what has led to the present situation. The second rune that you draw shows the present, Verdandi, and your current situation. In addition, this will show things that have a direct relation to the question that you asked. The third rune shows the future, Skuld. This shows what might be. You have free will, and actions can impact outcome. It shows the development of the situation, influences of the situation, and consequences of actions in the past that will come into effect if this path is followed. Layout 3, the 9 rune cast. 9 is a magical number in Norse mythology. To cast the 9 rune layout, you take 9 runes all at once and close your eyes. Then scatter them onto the cloth, ground, etc., and see how they land. When you open your eyes, take note of a couple of things. Which runes are facing up and which are overturned, and which ones are in the center of your casting and which are further away. Those that are face down may represent issues. I put like 7 U's in that. Issues that haven't come to pass yet. And the one which are right side up are the matters you need to truly focus on. In addition, the ones at the center of the cloth are the most important matters at hand, while the closer to the edge are relevant but less impending. And then interpreting the results. So you've done your layout, you've cast your runes. Each rune has multiple meanings, so it's important not to focus too much on some of the specifics. For example, Iwaz means horse, but it also means luck, motion, and protection. So what does Iwaz mean for you then? Think about your specific situation and how the rune applies. Don't disregard your intuition. If you look at Iwaz and don't immediately think, OMG, I'm getting a horse, this may only be the case if you really want a horse. But you are absolutely certain that it has something to do with motion and moving up in your company, you are more than likely right. As stated above, interpreting runes is very personal and very intuitive. Don't only look outward when interpreting these results, but remember to look inward as well. You might know and understand more than you think. And on the topic of Iwaz, I wanted to offer a couple of runes for protection for the times. Iwaz, which looks very similar to the M in the English alphabet and is phonetically E, Iwaz is one of the most commonly used runes as it is believed to offer protection against a wide range of dangers. The rune, as stated earlier, means horse, and it represents the rune's ability to provide strength and support during times of need. It is associated with loyalty and friendship and is often used as a symbol of protection. Iwaz, not to be mistaken for Iwaz, because the only difference in their spelling is an E between the E and the H, spelled E-I-H-W-A-Z, and is phonetically somewhere between I and E. This rune looks like a very disgruntled and sharp S.
Oh, yeah. I know what that, yeah.
Yes. This rune is the symbol of strength and stability and can be used to ward off negative energy. It is associated with the world tree, Yggdrasil. The world tree is used as a bridge between the worlds, and it represents the channel that connects us to the divine. This rune can be used to promote balance and harmony and the strength that you need for growth. And one more for good measure, algaes. Algaes looks like a Y with an extra prong in the middle with the phonetic value of Z. Algaes is the symbol for elk, which in itself was seen as a symbol of protection. Algaes is classified as a protective rune. This is literally this one's job, is protection. It can be used for protection and defense, and it is sometimes carved into amulets and talismans for this purpose. It can also be used to invoke higher powers and create a shield of protection around the caster.
Oh, I love it. All I can think of is Harry Potter's stag Patronus.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you guys think of the runes?
Oh my gosh.
I like them,
So
and I need
cool.
to use mine a lot more. I need to do a lot more spiritual
I want
work.
to make some myself.
Ooh, that would
Yes.
be cool.
Oh, I lied. I have 4 sets of runes. I made some a long time ago with like pieces of glass and like painting them.
So I wanted to find rocks.
Yes.
Finding trinkets. Here I go.
Rocks.
Rocks. It's
And
rock.
yeah, just paint them on them.
Yes.
And that'd be fun. I bought a set of witch runes, and they are made from resin, and I'm not feeling it.
Mm.
It's not natural enough. It's just,
Yeah.
they're purple and sparkly.
Hey, that's fun.
They're
though.
pretty, but yeah, I just haven't had much luck with them, and I'm not like drawn to them.
Okay.
They were an impulse buy at the Brock shop.
nice.
Buying plastic at the rock shop.
Mm.
So how often do you work with your runes, Kylee?
I go through like spells of time, pun intended, where I will work with them like super frequently, and then other times where I just like use other forms of divination.
It's funny how we go through those phases.
Mhm.
Yes, but I just bought my snake skin runes because I've been getting back into runes. And when I bought them from, I should have, Orem's Oddities. I'll double check and I'll put it in the show notes, but they are super cool. They're like the shed of a snake.
Mhm.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And when I opened them, like the energy
Mm.
was super, I was like,
Yep,
these are
belong
right.
to
These are
me.
mine. Yes.
The snake
So
has a lot of
cool.
like cool meanings also.
Oh,
Yes.
I want to get like a line art snake tattoo on my foot.
Mm.
Yes.
That'd be way cool.
That would be cool.
Snakes. I love snakes.
Snack.
Snakes. I'm a slippery little snicker snake.
Love that.
I love how much intuition also is used in runes and like,
Yes.
trusting yourself and what it could represent to you. Not like, oh, I'm getting a horse. I don't know
Right.
a horse.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to do,
That deep
intuition and
looking.
deep thinking. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
All right.
Right.
So I'm going to be talking to you today about water witching.
Ooh, that's
I know,
exciting.
I know. I was like, ooh, it's tasty on the tongue. So, water witching, more commonly known as dowsing.
Oh.
Yeah, not as fun. Just kidding. The same fun level.
Do you sing the song from Coraline while you do it?
Ooh, I just watched that show too. I was very drunk. So, like, that's the tea on that. Halloween party, all the vibes. But
She
what
says
did
like
she say?
magic dowser,
Oh,
magic
yeah.
dowser, or something like that.
I don't sing that song.
Okay.
I know. I'm lame. Party pooper. So, dowsing rods are considered a type of divination, obviously. Used to try to locate things that exist underground, including water, oil, precious metals and ores, gemstones, and even buried bodies.
Ooh.
I know. You may hear various nicknames used for dowsing, including divining, doodle bugging,
Doodle bugging.
Doodle
I've never heard
bugging.
Bugging. I love that.
I'm gonna go out doodle
I'm
bugging.
gonna go doodle bug with my doodle buggers. Oh lords,
Dude, I love that.
I know it's silly. And water witching, which is
Mhm.
my favorite, When searching for water, dowsing or dowsers commonly use tools called dowsing rods, which are these divining rods or witching rods. The first such rods were usually Y or L-shaped twigs. So people would like hold like these YL-shaped twigs and like it would lead them to water or like whatever they were looking for, either intuitively or like physically.
Just like in Coraline.
Just like in Coraline. Exactly. Dowsers often prefer to use twigs from particular sources, including witch hazel shrubs and willow and peach trees. Modern dowsers often use thin L-shaped rods made of metals such as copper. And that's what like our dowsing rods are made of. They're like big copper rods. With the ends of the twigs or rods in their hands, dowsers walk slowly around the area where they suspect whether they're searching for to be. For example, when looking for water, dowsers will wait for the twig to dip or twitch. When over water, dowsers using metal rods will wait for the rods to cross, forming an X over the spot where their target lies underground. So it's really cool. In high school, it was an agriculture class, the teacher brought out like dowsing rods and like showed them to us.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Is it Mr. Bailey?
It was he was an older gentleman. He was in the new part of the building at the very far end on the left.
I have no idea.
No. Okay. Maybe it was Mr. Allen.
Oh, yeah. He was the 4-H dude.
I didn't go to that school for... Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But he like talked about like how they were used to find water and stuff, and it was just interesting and cool.
Nice.
So the origins of dowsing track back as far as the Greeks in the mid-5th century. Herodotus reported the use of wooden Y-shaped forks for finding water by the 16th century. Georgius Agricola, a German mineralogist and writer, recorded dowsing rods being used to find metal or deposits. In his book, De Re Metallica, describes the practice of dowsing as wizards who also make use of rings, mirrors, and crystals seek for veins with a divining rod shaped like a fork. But its shape makes no difference for it to not the form of the twig that matters, but the wizard's incantations, which would not become me to repeat.
So intention,
exactly.
Oh, setting intentions again.
Or Nor.
Kicking your water over
or Nor
again.
Again. Dowsing rods are one tool to help us accept our intuition as well as informing from the collective unconscious, also known as the Akashic records.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The source, the divine, or higher realms. This is essentially where all knowledge from past, present, and future timelines are kept. You can use dowsing rods with other forms of divination, like using a pendulum board or a Ouija board. So they'll like hold it over like
that would be
a specific type of format,
to
basically.
try.
Yeah.
Right. Which I just put in my Amazon cart.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I love that for you.
But it comes with a pendulum and the big mat and the dowsing rods.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
And I bet I could use that mat with the charms, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
So-
hell yeah. Double whammies.
I know.
Some practical applications of dowsing, like locating water and minerals. One of the most well-known uses of dowsing is in locating water sources, minerals that are underground. This practice, often referred to as water witching, has been used by farmers, minerals, and engineers for centuries. And water divining to locate water. A dowser will walk slowly over the area, holding the rods parallel to the ground. And as they approach, they will cross, like I said, and moving towards each other, indicating the presence of water beneath the surface. And the same for when locating minerals. The rods will, like, wave,
To show you.
Okay.
like, show you, like, directionally,
Oh, cool.
according to this. But, like, yeah. Back to when the instructor showed us, like, he had, like, water and, like, they crossed over the water. So, like,
That's wild.
yeah, just, like, giving examples. some like energy and healing and balancing. Dowsing is also widely used in energy healing practices, which I didn't really know. I didn't realize
I can see
that.
maybe like using them to like detect
Direct
where
energy
or detect where the energy is like stagnant or needs
what chakra your
assistance.
energy is getting all
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
blocked. That's smart. Ooh, now I want to just play with all the things.
Right? Literally. Practitioner. Attacks. Practitioners use dowsing rods to detect imbalances in the energy field aura and to guide healing sessions. Chakra balancing. Using these dowsing rods can detect the flow of energy through the chakras, the energy centers in the body by holding rods over each other. A practitioner can determine if there is a blockage or imbalance that need to be addressed. They can also be used for aura cleansing, where they can cleanse and balance the aura, the energy field that surrounds the body by detecting areas where the energy is stagnant or disrupt. The practitioner can use healing techniques to restore balance. So that's kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
That is very interesting. I love it.
Yes. They can also enhance spiritual practices. They can be incorporated into various spiritual practices to enhance your connection with the divine and deepen your understanding of the energies around you. Like any spiritual practice, like you'll be intuitive to that.
I know a lot of people use it to ghost hunt, like to find where the spirit is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Many uses.
Mm-hmm.
You can use them like during meditation. They can help you focus your energy and intentions. The rods can guide you deeper into the state of meditation by indicating areas of high energy or spiritual presence. So you can use them to find high spiritual present places and like sit there and meditate, kind of like in Avatar with Aang entering the spirit world type vibes.
I like it.
Yes. Dowsing rods are used in rituals and ceremonies. Dowsers can be used to detect the presence of like spirit, like I said, or to consecrate a space. The rods can help you locate energy vorticles, ley lines, or other spiritual hotspots that are ideal for ritual work. Kind of the same as
like finding energy vortexes.
Finding energy. Yeah.
Oh.
And like the ley lines, which is cool.
That is cool.
Which we sit on a lot of here.
Yes.
So many ley lines. They can be used for manifesting. By focusing on your intention and using the rods to detect the flow of energy, you can align yourself with the energies that will help manifest your desires.
Okay.
And that is what I have for you on water witching. I got that from happysoulcrystals.com and wonderpolis.org.
I totally didn't give my sources.
Oof.
I guess, are you done? Or do we want
to?
Let's talk about
Yeah, we can talk about it.
And then you can do your sources.
Yes.
Oh, did I say my experience yet?
No, that's what I've been dying to hear.
So my experience that I had last weekend? Yeah. It would have had to be last weekend. We asked the dowsing rods if there was like anyone here.
Where were you guys at?
We were standing in the hallway right by at the parents' house.
At the parents' house.
Yes. So right by the 3 back bedrooms. And we asked if there was a spirit here. They crossed. Well, I first asked what, show me yes, show me no.
Okay.
And no was apart and yes was crossed.
Which is usually how it is.
Which is usually like
times.
Like what most
The
people
standard.
like. The standard, yeah. And it crossed for yes. And then Chantel was like, is it the little girl ghost in the hallway that she sees? And it said yes. And we asked if there was any like bad energies as well. And it did. It was like kind of.
I was saying like maybe.
Like backing and forth.
Oh.
Which is kind of like maybe the spirit isn't necessarily evil, but it's like the
like
energy is like trickstery is probably what it was.
Or maybe like the entity doesn't understand the concept of bad and good.
Maybe. Because like maybe the trickster hasn't
really
like harmed.
a little girl?
We don't
That's
know.
the key.
Really,
Is it actually the trickster all along? But yeah, that was my experience. And it was just like very like giving us like the evidence of like Chantel seeing the little girl ghost in the hallway and like that like being displayed there. So It was really cool.
Yeah.
That is
And it
fun.
answered pretty quickly.
It did.
Like a very intelligent type of
yeah.
answers.
Yes, it was very intelligent.
Yeah.
I don't know, for those of you who haven't like tried to communicate with energies or whatever entities, whatever you want to call them, sometimes like you can tell, like if you're using a spirit box or something, you can tell it's just the thing generating, it's just doing its job.
Mhm.
But it's not intelligent. It's not intelligently and timely answering questions.
Yes.
And so then you can tell like, okay, an entity is here. They are answering my questions. Oh, and now they're gone.
Mhm. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, for people who haven't experienced that in real life, that's good to like
Yeah.
clarify. Like you can tell if something's actively answering things.
Mhm.
And then other
Mhm.
times things are more of like a residual and you don't get intelligent answers
Mhm.
and or like very active interactions.
Yeah. And again, with like things like that, you also have to be like, you can't be like some of the ghost hunters you see on TV that like take every single
answer,
thing.
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
This is really what happened.
Mhm.
This person named Harold died, murdered, burned. Like
Mhm.
sometimes that's what the ghost
Yeah.
boxes will spit out, and it's kind of like, okay, write it all down, and at the end look at it and
Mhm.
see
if it,
what makes
actually,
sense, what
yeah.
fits together.
or if there's like evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when we were using the ghost box, and it said Seance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was
was wild.
cool.
That
you
was
can
cool.
see that on TikTok.
You
Yeah.
can see that on TikTok.
check out the
my
clock
husband.
app.
We were doing the Estes method in my
Mhm.
dining room. All three of us.
It was
and
fun.
Luke and Peter. It was fun. We didn't do that again.
We do
Mhm.
need to
I'm
do
gonna
that
take
again.
those dowsing rods into my basement.
Yes.
Where we're gonna have a spooky little
Studio
Yes.
someday.
studios someday. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome, Craig.
That was.
Thank you. It was fun to I always like loved like dowsing rods, like even like when I was a lot younger and Dad had them. They
Mhm.
put like we'd always like
I
Kylee,
never got to
Chantel.
see those or play with them.
Rude freaking
Dad.
Dad. Love you, Dad. But yeah, they're just so cool.
And he's like, I don't know why all my kids are like this.
Literally.
Have you looked in the mirror?
I love rocks. I have dowsing rods.
Literally. Mining for minerals.
He gave me my first pieces of obsidian
Mm.
that he went out and found.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
When we'd go
Oh.
fishing, he'd like there was a place with like a lot of quartz.
Oh.
And like me and him, and he like showed me
Find it.
to them, and yeah, like showed me
You're
the
like, "Look
quartz.
at this
yeah,
rock."
I was like, holy shit, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
And that is where my interest started.
Mhm.
Rocks.
Rocks.
So it's all Dad's fault.
Thanks,
He
Dad.
is the common denominator.
He
in all
is
of
the
this.
common denominator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to say your sources, Kaika?
Oh yeah, I already forgot again. So, The Power of Runes by Vienix, Odin's Discovery of the Runes, NorseMythology.com, Runes for Protection, The Guide for the Meaning and Use of Norse Runes, MythologyMerchant.com, The Old Norse Spellbook by Alda Dagny, and Norse Magic for Beginners by Mary Silva.
Oh, I have some books by her. Or them. That person.
Nice.
I think it's like the Well-Stocked Witch's Cupboard.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm looking at the cover in my head right now. It's yellow.
Have you heard of like, is it like aphantasia where you can't like imagine things in your brain?
Oh, I hate that for people.
Yeah, that sounds
know.
wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like what is going on in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
and
yeah,
even if they
I'm
can't
like,
hear like the
picture
voice.
an apple, and they're like, I can't. And some people don't have an inner dialogue in their
Yeah.
head.
They just, yeah.
Like it's all like in emotions and
That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
like they don't have a running voice.
Yeah. Like, whereas me, my brain's like, okay, let's go brush our teeth now.
Mhm.
And I say that to myself in my head. And other people, like, they just get like abstracts and images and like
Mhm.
stuff.
That's so wild.
It is so wild.
That is so
People
wild.
are wild. And
People
Yeah.
are wild.
Well, and people that don't see pictures in their mind's eye usually don't like to read books that are
Mm.
fictional because they're not
Mhm.
like watching a movie in their head.
Yeah.
Like one of my coworkers, when I found that out about him, I was like, holy shit, dude. I'm like, well, what happens when you read? And he's like, well, I don't like to read things that aren't facts. Like, I like to
Mhm.
read things that are actual, like, historical books, whatever, people's, like, memoirs, whatever.
That's so wild.
That is
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I get a whole little movie
Same.
written.
And then I get mad if they actually make it into a movie and the actors don't fit how I had made them.
Yeah, the characters look different than the actors.
Yes.
Yes.
Or I've already picked actors that
Yeah.
I think would be best.
Like my dream cast.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Divination, guys.
Yeah.
Divination.
I love this for us.
I do
too.
also. We
Yeah.
have some
We do have
socials.
socials.
We have a TikTok.
At Seance with my siblings.
We have an Instagram.
At Seance with my siblings.
We have a Facebook.
Seance with my siblings.
And a Gmail.
We surely do, where you can send us your spooky stories, your ghost pics, your
Your pet pic.
your pet pic. Jesus, Craig. And just all your scary encounters.
Right, anything.
Whether doesn't have to be ghosts.
No,
It can be
anything.
you used some divination tools and got some cool responses.
Yeah,
or,
we want to hear about your cool divination stories.
Yeah, or Bigfoot, or aliens, or
And put that in the
weird
subject.
stuff.
Or
Yes.
if you have like techniques you're developing that are different, maybe your own spin on things, we want to hear about.
Oh yeah,
We
please.
do.
And if you want us to read them on like a listener story episode,
We would
mention
love
that as well.
Yes.
And we would love to read
Yeah,
them.
if you want us to keep it private, please let us
Yeah,
know.
Please.
because if you're sending it via email, we're I guess just
We're assuming you are okay with us talking about it.
So if you
So clarification.
don't want it, if you just want like to share and ask questions, clarify that.
Please.
Please.
Because we can't read your mind.
Yes, unfortunately.
Not yet.
That'd
Oh,
be
God,
so,
I don't
that'd be
want
so
to.
cool. Oh my
No.
god.
I don't want to. Unless it was like a very, when I say I can read it and I am like, like opening it up. I
Not
wanna
like
just
voices.
grab that.
The voices, not like Sookie.
No, that sounds
Skates.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suki. I always said Suki in my mind. And so when I started watching True Blood, I was like, no. I was like, no.
That's
That's not how
actually
you fucking say it.
no.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks everyone.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for all of your support. It is really cool to
Yes.
see our downloads growing and the number of people listening in different parts of America and the world.
Yeah.
I had this is wild.
This
It is
is wild.
Like silly little 3 queer witches in Utah. And people in other countries are listening to this. And then
Yeah.
other states that,
Yeah.
yeah.
UK, Portugal, Australia.
Freaking
Hell yeah.
thanks, Delaware and New
Yeah.
York and
Yeah, thanks,
California.
y'alls.
You
Yeah,
guys
y'all are popping
off. Oh,
off.
and Colorado.
Colorado.
And Colorado might just be my cousin Allie.
Hi, Allie. But-
Yeah, thanks so much for listening.
Yeah,
Tell your
thank you.
spooky
Dakota.
friends.
Maybe it's my Aunt Tori in Colorado. Crap. I'm a bad
Maybe.
family member.
Oh.
Anyway.
Wave to the mic. Bye.